So, Patrick, Royce, you like to tweet frequently when the Twins cough up a game. That was a bad loss. But I saw in my Twitter feed yesterday after the Twins beat the Reds, came back, that you tweeted that was a good win. I can't remember the last time I saw the good win tweet.
No, not too often, but that definitely was one because that was one you just sat there and watched and you just knew they were going to lose, right? It was Hunter Green struck out 14. Hunter Green was pretty locked in. He pitched twice against the Saints this year. Once he hit him and struck out 100 guys, and the other time he got knocked around. But he had really good stuff yesterday, and with that lineup, you just never figured that they were going to get to him, and all of a sudden they did. And nice hit for Jorge and a bunch of other guys, and that was a good win. And I think that after Griffin Jacks, they brought him in for the ninth, and he walked the first guy, and you thought, oh, okay, here he goes, but he got him out. But I would be going into the playoffs. I mean, obviously you got the Royce Lewis problem now, but I would be very optimistic about the bullpen, wouldn't you? I think the bullpen is in very good shape for this because you got Louis Varland out there now. Might get another Thielbar's throwing really well. I think he had a little trouble when he first came back from the injury. But and Emilio's been, he's been good more often than not. And Griffin Jacks has got, they're 5 or 6 deep in the bullpen now. I think they're going into the bullpen a little different than everybody else. Now we'll get to Royce in a minute, but somebody asked me this. The Twin Cities chapter votes on their awards. And my MVP award was to Johan Duran because I thought he fixed a big hole in this team. Didn't win. I saw that it ended up between a tie between a couple other guys, and they kind of had a revote with those two. So I'm not going to tell anybody who it is, but it was Johan did not to make it. But I thought when you look back, why did they kick it away last year? Right? I mean, why they couldn't finish games, basically, is one reason they kicked it away last year. And he hasn't been perfect, but he's blown about 2 all year, so 2 or 3 all year. So I went with him because the other leading candidates, I don't know, it was hard to separate those guys, but he did not win. So, but he's, you still feel it might be more of an adventure than it used to be, but you still feel when he comes into the ninth inning, you're going to get to the finish line, right? So anyway, that's the guy I voted for. Meanwhile, I was really worried for Dick's mental health when Royce left the game the other day, weren't you? Now I think we were all pretty rattled, but I didn't think he was going to make it through the broadcast. He got down. But the other thing on Royce is I was looking at the Star Tribune comments and some other comments. It's amazing the medical expertise that you can get from reading these comments. These people know exactly. They know it was the knee again. They can tell it was the knee. The guy's like glass. He can't, it's. They all know it. I thought it was a groinage myself. I thought that's what he pulled, but it turns out it's a hamstring. And if you DL him, which they are obviously going to do today, he could only play next Sunday, right? You could back it up, but you got to miss 10 days. So he could only play next Sunday. But I guess, you can get him some, some bad bats. But what would you say, guys? Let's use our medical expertise. 50-50 he plays in the first round series. Maybe not even that high. Huh?
I would put it at about 70, Pat. I think you rest him up here. And yeah, I mean, you got 12 more days. I mean, at this point, Pat, get Reaver's town ball team to play for the Twins for the rest of the way. They don't need to play any meaningful player.
Yeah, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about having him ready by getting some at bats. It's just having 3 at bats next Sunday against whoever the Rockies are pitching is probably not. Maybe you don't even play him. Maybe you just wait until Tuesday and say, are you ready to go or not? But hamstrings have a tendency to hang around too. So I'm not sure he'll. it is. I had some communication with Rocco on his Twins, and he sent me a photo of one twin is like this, and the other guy's laying on him, and it's like the other twin said, "Get the hell out of my space here," kind of thing, kind of a picture. And I said, meanwhile, Tingler screwed up the best part of your team, the left side of the infield. So, I mean, really, that's since Lewis established himself and Correa being a great shortstop he is, that's been the strength, right? And the same guys, plus the same guys every day. And now, who knows? Who knows? The downgrade from Correa to Kyle Farmer at shortstop is substantial.
Just a little bit, you think?
All of us who spent this year whining about Correa should think about what it would have been like with Kyle Farmer as your everyday shortstop.
We don't appreciate Carlos Correa just at shortstop. That's the thing is, yes, he's paid a lot. Yes, he's had a disappointing season at the plate. But Pat, we don't appreciate the fact that this guy makes so many plays look routine that we take it for granted. But just go back to like Polanco, where it was more of an adventure. Yeah. He is great at shortstop.
He is, and in my world now, maybe with all the shifting, it changed a little. And now they're still shifting the shortstop, but I've always thought it was the most important fielding. Catching obviously is the most difficult, but I thought shortstop was the most important position on any team. And you look back to the World Series winners. Greg Gagne was better than everybody else, So I mean, he was tremendous defensively, and the fact that they had a pinch hit for him in the eighth inning once in a while, people who say Zoilo was better than him didn't see Zoilo. Zoilo had a fantastic year in '65. But if you had seats behind first base, you had to duck about twice a day. He could launch him over there, and he'd make a great play behind second, and then you didn't know where the hell the throw was going to go. So, I mean, he was a very good player for them, but very erratic. But nobody's ever been like this guy. Nobody's ever been as consistent as Correa is. It just makes all the plays. So.
Pat, I was watching a lot of the Reds broadcasts over this week. I had no idea Kyle Farmer was the Reds team MVP last season.
No, that's unbelievable.
And good guy.
And the good guy award.
And the media good guy.
He's a good guy. He is a good guy, I guess. I mean, I just stood near him a couple of times. He's good with the quotes. But that tells you that they've made quite an upgrade, doesn't it? Although right now, what is with the shortstop? What is with the phenom? Dela Cruz, he can't catch a ball. He can't catch a ground ball. He can't catch a tag at second base. My God, he was when he came up before he got hurt, he was like, this is the future of baseball right here. This is the next coming of Acuna. And now he can't catch anything, and he strikes out every at bat. So it's,
the OPS is not impressive at all. I think he's 7-something now.
It's more of an adjustment for you.
Yes.
When the league adjusts to you, than it is for, the adjustment that they make to you. It's harder to make, it's harder to make that adjustment than to actually break in, because then once they get information on you, especially in this age, you got issues, and he hasn't made the adjustment back anyway. But they're in trouble now after that loss yesterday, the Reds. But
the Cubs have fallen apart.
Mm-hmm. Oh God, terrible. I think they lost 6 out of 7 now. 6 out of 7. So anyway, who is your third starter, gentlemen? Maeda?
I'm sticking with Joe Ryan, Pat. I'm still sticking with him.
I don't think so. I don't like him right now. I think he's they're just hitting his fastball too much. But his bad won't be as bad as Maeda's bad if Maeda is bad.
Correct.
That's not an easy sentence to digest. But when Maeda's bad, it's worse than when Joe Ryan's bad. That's for sure.
I would rather start Joe Ryan with a quick hook, Patrick, to go to Maeda than start Maeda with a quick hook to go to Joe Ryan.
and Ober too. You got Ober. I was hoping before yesterday. I was thinking, Ober to me was their third best starter most of the year. With Joe Ryan the first 2 months, but then he didn't look that good yesterday. He doesn't look like he's on top of his game yet. So maybe he did hit the wall, but yeah, he'll be in the bullpen too. So I mean, the bullpen's gonna be good. But it could also be 2 and out if you don't have Royce, because I mean, all Royce did was knock in 1.5 runs a game.
I know.
for since he got back here. It's incredible what he has done. And last time we were on the radio together, we were on this podcast together. We were talking about how he had changed the whole vibe of the Twins, and now, the whole vibe changed when he walked off the field the other day. It was like, oh my God, no, this can't be. This can't be. Somehow, however, people were trying to make this the Twins' fault because when he ran to first, they thought he
came up.
And he said no, he didn't feel it at all until he took that awkward looking swing. So I don't know. They have not been the luckiest. By the way, Buck's
to say,
going to St. Paul tonight. He's going to DH. There's a possibility. Would he be your 14th player? Not if your infielders are hurt. He's not going to be your 14th player. But would he be your 14th player for the playoffs and just pinch hit or something?
Well, that's the question: is what would their obligation be? It feels like if he can play, they're going to DH him, which I don't necessarily want.
No, they can't DH him. No, they can't. You can't take Julian out of the lineup for him. I mean, Julian.
Agree.
After 2 weeks ago, I was so down on Julian, I couldn't stand it because he never swung the bat, and now he's hitting. And you know what else we've seen, which has always been my theory of big, strong hitters. Wallner's back getting some hits again now after being hopeless, very good for 2 weeks, hopeless for 2 weeks, and now he's starting to get some hits again. So with those guys, you just got to ride them out. They're either hot or cold. There's no in between. And when they're cold, they are cold.
Pat, I would honestly take Andrew Stevenson right now over Byron Buxton as the late inning pinch runner and outfield substitution.
Yeah, you can pinch run him. So I would, if you're making your roster based on these are the guys that can do something for me. Stevenson, especially in a 2 out of 3 series, when you're not going to need 14 position players. Maybe if you get into a division series or something, you're gonna need Buxton or I don't know why you need him, but I'd rather have Stevenson because he can. I was thinking that yesterday when I saw him, he can steal second base when you need it. So when you need a run.
Speaking of roster construction for the playoffs, there's not going to be a temptation to activate Gallo, will there?
No, you won't see him. That's not happening unless three more guys.
I just wanted to ask. I just want to make sure.
3 guys more. He's over on the rehab. He's rehabbing. He's rehabbing whatever it was, whatever mysterious injury they came up. He's rehabbing.
It's pride.
Yes.
That's the injury designation. Is his pride is hurt. I just want to make sure the Twins aren't going to be tempted to say, well, if he pinch hits and hits a home run, we're going to look at. I just want to absolutely clear that up.
Yeah, I don't know if he'll. Will he be on the active list next week? I don't know. Before the last week of the season, it's going to be kind of. I would assume the Orioles are going to beat the lowly Guardians today, and so you're going to have Are we going to all go to the ballpark and spray champagne on each other? What are they going to do?
Doogie said yes. Doogie said if they clinch tonight and they lose tomorrow, they will have a post-game celebration in the clubhouse, which I said is the most idiotic thing I've ever heard, but whatever.
Well, I thought maybe
tonight.
Go watch the game together someplace and then have a little party. Go to, go to the poor watch bar that's stuck downtown Minneapolis.
Tom's Watch Bar.
Tom's Watch Bar.
On the corner there, trying to create an audience. Go to someplace downtown and watch the game with the public. How about that? Watch the game with the public and then all have a celebration together. Of course, you can't trust the public now because they're idiots. But Anyway,
Okay.
gather someplace, right? And then if
Yeah.
Cleveland's ahead 6-1 in the fourth inning, you can go back home. That would be my thing. That would be better than, let's remember the reason that one of our best teams ever, 2006, lost was because those idiots chose to have 2 champagne celebrations in a 48-hour period.
I know.
They did. Instead of, we're going to raise hell again Sunday because we won the division, instead of say, okay, boys, that was a good party Friday. Let's get ready to play Tuesday noon.
Yep.
Tuesday noon. Instead, we're going to spray champagne around and run around and feel like a bunch of morons, and then go out and let Barry Zito stick it to us with those slow curveballs. So
here's what I want, Patrick. I want them to come up with team T-shirts that say, we ain't done nothing yet, and you don't get to celebrate anything until you win a playoff series, which is 2 games, which ends your 18-game losing streak.
I really think now that we get 6 teams in the playoffs, we don't have to celebrate it anymore. Do you? I wouldn't. We don't. I mean, okay, if you go to if it's the Red Sox and the Yankees, and you go to the last day, and the losers in and the winners out, then jump around a little and spray. But you don't have to have the champ. It's who wants them? TV.
Yeah.
On TV, they want them.
Yeah.
My guy Jeff Pesso, what made him famous? Getting sprayed. He was the guy the Twins loved to spray in '87. So
here's the new rule in my world, perfect world. If you want to have a pre-league championship series win, because I think that deserves it, champagne celebration for the players. No goggles.
No goggles.
So you're taking it right in the eyes if you're willing to put up with that. But everyone wears those goggles now, which drives me crazy. They didn't wear goggles back in the Goose Gossage ain't wearing goggles.
Now if you win one of the, what do we even call these? The wild card series, right? If you win one of those, you're not going to have a champagne celebration.
Yeah. I think they do, don't they?
One of those for damn
thing.
They
will, yeah.
No,
Tex,
come on.
don't they?
No,
they do. I know.
They will.
That's what I'm saying.
Although these guys, even if they lose the wild card series, if they win a game, they should have a champagne.
I'm having a champagne problem.
That's my point.
I'm spraying champagne if they win a game.
Celebration for this team should be as soon as they win one.
And that might be a good point. The AL Central, the AL Central, they've won that. It's a terrible division. But if you end the 18 gamer,
then
that's a cause for celebration.
In fact, have a parade right there.
Declan will be spraying the best stuff.
We can have a parade with the Lynx because they both won one playoff game. So
big win.
Have we ever been so happy about winning one playoff game? Well, we will be with the Twins as we were with the Lynx.
Are you telling me too that at the end of all of this, that if they had the opportunity, 0-6, the Lynx at one point to tank it. The top of this draft is going to be incredible, and you made the playoffs and lasted 3 games for that, and you cost yourself a potentially generational player who would have actually brought people into Target Center.
And maybe Paige, if you didn't get Caitlin. Maybe Paige, because it would be the hometown team picking second. Maybe Paige would opt out, decide that 2 years of college, actually 2 years of healthy playing would be enough and come back home.
Yes.
And everybody says, well, they're making so much NIL money. Well, Caitlin Clark's going to bring all that with her. You think Nike and those people are going to drop her? By the way, she won the Sullivan Award as the Amateur Athlete of the Year.
Good.
In the United States of America. So it was a major screw up to try to not take advantage. They should have been 6 and 34 and took their lumps, but we're paying tribute to. But now Coach Reeve does have 2 post-Maya Moore playoff victories rather than 1. So congratulations to her.
You're her biggest fan. I know that.
I know she did. Yeah, I did. I wrote what a great thing she
motivational.
Bad mouthing her team, and I'm still getting tributes for that. You people are stupid.
Oh, so hey, last thing. Is Cam Akers now going to save the day? The Vikings went out and traded. They swapped conditional 2026 picks,
so
Pat.
in other words, the Rams were going to get rid of him, basically.
Yeah, the Rams were desperate to get rid of him.
And the Rams probably would have, just waived him, and then the Vikings wouldn't have known for sure they'd get him. He was good 2 years ago. I don't know. He can catch a ball. He can catch a pass too, right?
Yeah, there's been something weird the last 2 years where McVay and him have had some issues, and I don't know what the problem is. I'm guessing O'Connell does because he's big friends with McVay, but that was the only weird thing. There's been something going on with them.
Well, he was hurt last year, right? Wasn't he hurt most of last year? I thought
he got hurt, but then he left the team for like 2 weeks, and they tried to trade him, and they couldn't trade him, and then he came back. It's just an odd situation.
Little dissension. Who's their running back out there now? Do they have one? Oh, the guy got hurt, right?
I forget his name. He played against San Francisco.
And then on the second one. Who do we like? We got the lineman in here, and he's kind of like Booney, huh? He's a big talker, good talker, good quote guy. That good offensive lineman that gets you some quotes. There aren't many of them, but when they are, they can be, pretty good. Dave Huffman will remain all of our favorite players ever, because he could fill up a notebook, man. But this guy has got to be an improvement, right, Reisner?
I would think so. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he's good in pass protection. He's not great in run blocking, but with what they've got currently.
Well, he also told us yesterday why he didn't sign earlier, because the cheap Wilfs wouldn't give him any money. That's right. So so you guys, you basically gave away 2 games here by not having a right guard, and just because the cheap Wilfs wouldn't pay him. That's let's put this straightforward here. The cheap Wilfs tried to lowball him. They didn't, and they didn't get him in here. So let's see that hashtag, cheap Wilfs. Come on, you guys. Let's go.
Oh, I'm sure that's going to be trending soon. Be a lot of people in town adopting that one.
In fact, while we're taping this, that might be being said on the big FM radio station.
Oh, no question about it. Sure 9 to noon is just going after the Wilfs right now,
sure
crucifying
them. On the cheap Wilfs right now. So.
All right. We'll talk to you tomorrow, sir. Thanks, Patrick. All right. That is one of the many Royce Unchained. Of course, you can hear about an hour of that on Mondays, but he also joins us on Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays. A couple sponsors to shout out before we go. Livia Weight Control Centers. That's right. My people, guy on the left, the guy on the right. That's the same guy. That's Judd. That's Sports Dad. Yeah, that's good old Sports Dad. But what happened to him? Well, I'm going to tell you right now. He lost 40 pounds thanks to a program that I can tell you, and a lot of people from SKOR North who watch and enjoy our show can tell you that it works, because we've gotten a ton of notes decks from folks through the past couple of years about Livia Works. In fact, voted the best weight loss program in the state of Minnesota the past 3 years running. And for that, they have a special offer right now. That would be, you join now, you're going to get 3 months free. That's right, 3 months free. You're going to lose a ton of weight. And you're just going to be getting started in a weight loss journey that's going to help you not only drop the weight, but maintain the weight loss. 3 months free. 855-GO-LIVEA, Livia.com. LIVEA.com. You go there now. Your weight loss journey starts with Livia. And also, as lake season throttles down, look at that right there. Trust the world's largest Bennington dealer, Miller Marine and Power Lodge, to protect your passion. And that looks like a great time. Call today about the Power Lodge Miller Marine's limited time winterization specials. They're offering free storage with the purchase of a new boat. Get double the value if that new boat is a luxurious Bennington with unbeatable employee pricing stacked on top of rebates. So it's fantastic. Pontoon passion starts at Miller Marine and Power Lodge. Free winter storage with the purchase of a new boat from our buddies at the Lodge and Miller Marine. Throttle therapy on and off the water decks. MillerMarine.com, PurpleLodge.com.